we ready to get it cracking?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. So I've been looking forward to this one. Podcast with the North Berwick Amateur boys. We've got Mr. Finlay Pratt here, Mr. Hamish Law, and Mr. Jack Fish. We've got Matthew off camera, who might be chiming in a little bit here, boys. But cheers to this. We've already had a couple of beers at the house watching the football. Hamish is on the water as he's driving.
Just on the shush.
No problem. Thanks for doing it. I've been looking forward to this. Season just finished on Monday, yeah?
Monday night was the last game of the season yet.
Unreal. Good?
Good in the end. The team we were playing needed to beat us to win the league. So, gave them a good game in the end. 3-2 loss, but a few chances there, Fish. You want to talk about your miss in the first half?
Not particularly, no.
Oh, no.
To be fair, it was on my foot, and I've not scored a goal on my foot all season. So when Luke put it in, he really should have lifted it, and instead he put it along the floor. So I was never scoring that, no matter if it was 2 yards out or 10 yards out.
Yeah,
wasn't getting buried. So I was quite pleased. I just put it over the bar. Actually, it was quite remarkable.
Yeah,
yeah. If I used my head with the grass, I would have headbutted the post.
What was it? Was it a sitter?
No.
Was it a sitter?
100%.
I know what. It's about the only ball Luke has delivered all season.
Yeah, it would
Do you
have
know
been
what
his
I mean?
first
Yeah,
Like,
LT whipped
when
in.
LT's down the wing, the keeper's either chasing it,
Yeah,
or it's going out for a throw-in.
fair.
So when Fish got on the end of it, it was a bit of shock from everyone. But when it landed about 50 yards down the glen, it was like, right, fair
Yeah.
enough.
I only got it because I was too lazy to go back on the second phase. I was just going, Luke's never getting this back in. I was just standing still flicked it wide.
Is LT channeling his inner Henri? Eh?
No.
On that one.
Yeah. He is, for a boy that's never played 11s in his life, he's been unbelievable down the wing. No?
Fair play.
Yeah, he's lively, very lively, and he gets kicked. Will I just swear?
Yeah, you can absolutely swear at him. You can,
fuck.
yeah,
It's
absolutely, mate.
unbelievable. So
Yeah.
Matthew swears every 2 seconds on this
he
thing.
gets lumped to shite. I think he's been brilliant coming in. Just a threat because we don't have much pace in the team. There's a lot of old legs in the
Pace
squad
zero.
now, so yeah, it gives us something different. But end product, we'll get there.
I feel sorry for him because the fullbacks that he's playing against have not quite got the body,
Right, yeah.
body physique that he has. So when he knocks it past him, he's only getting one treatment. He's just getting absolutely swiped. So his ankles have taken some treatment this season, that's for sure.
Fair play, LT, man. Scottish Widows lad. So obviously the season just ended, first season. I've been thinking about doing this to you guys for a while. Like I've definitely mentioned it to you, Finlay, and Hamish before, and then obviously Jack as well does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So let's kind of take it back to the start of it all, because I remember when there was chat of obviously it kind of happening, and there was a few different people talking about trying to make an Ammies team, and like we all know, being from North Berwick, like you hear that chat all the time, and it happens for half a season and it folds. So I don't know who kind of wants to take it away from the very beginning, really, but we'll just chat about kind of how you've got it going. I don't know who wants to do that first.
Yeah, well, the first bit I remember was balls deep in lockdown when we're all doing those wee quizzes, the wee Zoom quizzes. We've not seen boys in ages, and all the boys are home. I think it was.
Everyone's got a shocking barn at
Everyone's looking terrible. It was like one of those nights where it's like everyone wear a football strip or a cap or something, and it just like, and then obviously it was different like Quizmaster every week, and it got to the point where it was like questions about like high school football, like who did this, who did that, and obviously everyone's reeking, so that just leads on to like why have we not got a team?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was at the point where like me, Gaz and Nell, we'd moved back from Australia, boys had been dotted all about the place. Hamish, who were you playing for? Like Huntington, Dunbar?
Nah, I was thinking about getting back into football,
Yeah, like James is at Dunbar, like boys are all over the place, so like get to the point where like, yeah, how hard can it actually be?
Yeah.
And drunk chat, everyone's like, yeah, we'll do it, absolutely. And then, a few months goes by, it's just like boys in the chat, it's never gonna happen. Never going to be able to do it. It's just like it's a pipe dream type thing, starting your own football team. And then I think we tried in the June, did we? Me and you?
Yeah, I mean, furlough was a bit of a saviour for the NB Ammies because we were the only two that were actually on furlough.
Yeah, brilliant.
So
right.
we had nothing better to do.
Bring him back.
Yeah, so we were like, why don't we put in an amateur team? So it was that year before the year that we're in at the moment.
Yeah.
We thought, we'll just try, and we tried to scramble and invite in. But because of COVID, we weren't playing any amateur football.
Mm.
So it gave us a year to then, now that we'd actually committed to it, it was like, that gives us a year to actually build a proper team.
Class. And then, so where does it go from, like, obviously, like, the chat and stuff, and then, like, because I think what a lot of people won't realise, which we talked about a little bit at the flat before we came here, right? And obviously I've come from coaching in America, so like I kind of understand it. Like I didn't have to do a lot of that stuff because in America you get a lot of parents that volunteer to do that, right? But like, where does it start? Because there's so much to do. Like you were talking about, like getting strips together, like getting the players together. Like how does that even start?
At the very, very, very start, there wasn't even a club that we could have taken over.
Right.
So to the extent of we had to make a badge just to set up the club.
Right.
The badge was all created. The club was created. We didn't know where we were going to play. And there was all type of things. We weren't even training. We were just kind of going, we'll turn up at Sight Hill and just see how many people.
The grass pitch there, littered with needles and fucking dog shite everywhere. First training session, and ball gets scranned by a dog.
I've still got that ball. We're going to hang it in the museum.
Mate, get that framed.
The only amateurs team who's every squad full is like Stevenson College. It's like
Bob, random lad on Twitter replying like, "That's no North Berwick."
There was one particular dark week in pre-season where we only had 4 guys turn up. It was me, Hamish, Nell, my flatmate, and Aaron. There was just 4 of us, and the Neds were the grass had just been cut, and the Neds were firing in from the woods and just setting fire to the grass.
Really?
Sums up the Ammies, man.
No way.
In terms of like where it came on, there was a lot of conversations on the golf course in terms of like, get this going, and like, I'm the eternal pessimist with everything. I'm like, it's never going to work. I kept saying that to Jack, and I was like, everyone's yes man and you, everyone's yes man and you. But probably to be fair to Jack, on the admin front, he's took the real lead on.
Mm-hmm.
Got things in
Unbelievable shift.
Speaking with the Colts, speaking with the Huff and Puffins, and I suppose figuring out what the league body do, like who do we need to go to, what sort of people we need to speak to, what sort of stuff do we need to get in detail. And then I think you kind of got in touch with Leaflet after you'd ticked off enough of the boxes to go, right, we've got something here.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the timeline actually saved us a bit because we had a bit of time to build in for it, and we had that year. And I was like, right, okay, we'll sort the pitch. And it just became one of those things, we'll do that. And then it actually came to starting the season, and it was like, oh my God, we don't even have a home pitch. We don't have anything. We were sending Hamish off to like the new pitch at the new build at North Berwick, like, go and see if we can play there. Go and see if we can play here. And just in the end...
Fucking 7-a-side pitch.
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was just anywhere will do. So in the end, it worked out for us. We were able to get the grass pitch at the Rec. It worked out really well in our favour, but...
Good.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was just... getting the squad together.
Squad was the biggest issue.
The biggest thing. I think obviously like league, like we did the application form. I mean, relatively straightforward actually in the end. I guess like after we put some thought into it and like committed boys, like we got like a sort of core group of like the lads like Matty, for example, from home, like boys you hadn't seen in a while, but you knew you'd be so right up for it. And then once we did all that, that was all right. But then obviously it was getting the squad together, getting funding. Was the big point because at the start, because you don't start an Ammies team like pay for the league fees and like the insurance and all that up front, renting pitches and stuff, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, we had no idea that it was going to cost us to actually set up the club, and it was only once we got the application in, and it was all of a sudden we're hit with like £400-500 worth of bills. And we didn't have any funding, so I was just taking the hit. I was like, I'm sure I'll get this money back from boys at some stage.
Yeah.
I was still so pessimistic of it, even after they paid the league fees.
Yeah.
I was with James.
Yep.
I just got back into football. I was training in with Dunbar with James.
James Harley.
Yeah,
right.
And Jack and Finlay phoned me one night whilst I was in my bed.
Oh,
like,
brilliant.
So
good.
The Ammies, and I was like, it's like we announced it in our group chat with me holding up a picture of a Domino's t-shirt.
Do you know what I mean? You wanted to get a bit of like momentum going.
Of course, you need the momentum.
It's like me and Jack talking about it. Like not a very inspiring signing, me. Let's be honest. So you needed a wee marquee boy to come in there. So we gave him a call, and we're like, "Should I be offering the manager's role? He's gonna play as well, isn't he? Surely, straight in there." You were delighted.
Yeah, I was delighted, but it was like not that I told them. I was like, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
I went to pre-season with James. He was like, what on earth is that all about? It's never gonna happen. I was like, don't stress about that. But then, like once we'd figured out like there's a good group of lads who want to get in on this. Finlay sort of took about the social side of it, got sponsorship sorted on kits and like that sort of thing. Like I suppose that's where there's way more to it. Like when you scratch beneath the surface, you're like,
way more.
Kit's easy, but no, you need to find a supplier. You need
It's
to
like $800.
Yeah.
We need to find someone. We need to find a sort of core sponsor, which Finlay was able to do as well. Which without that sort of stuff, like the Ammies wouldn't be where it is.
Of course.
Yeah.
Did it at any point, like, because like you were all saying, you didn't know that's what it would take. Like, was there any point that it kind of threw you off a bit, or was it like once you'd kind of signed up for the league, was it like, now we need to we're going to keep going with this?
I was just going to say, you take it, but I think after we committed, we were just, because you get a buzz. Don't you?
Yeah.
We were just so
I was
excited.
about to say, once we had
never
committed
turning back
to it.
after that.
And the best thing about it was we were going about and folk had got wind of the fact we were doing it. So everywhere we were going, any golf thing, anything, we walked down the street and boys are coming like, have you started up the NB Ammie? And we're like, what the hell's going on? So the buzz that you're getting off it, we were just full of positivity. So it never felt like we weren't going to do it. Hamish may had a bit more negative outlook on it, but it never felt
pessimist.
like the pessimist. It never felt like we were going to fail with it until the season actually started. It was like, oof.
Yeah.
Because we managed to get a bit of funding from a trust in North Berwick, which is a big thing. We had to write like an application form and sort of like
Frank Pratt.
Cheers, man. Frank the Tank.
Cheers, Frankie. Frank the Tank.
Sorting that one out with putting us in touch with folks. So we had to write a re-application form and then list out what we needed the money for. So that was a struggle. Do you remember that phone call?
Yeah.
Being like, well, what are we gonna?
Why do we need the money?
Why do we need money? But then it was like, then you actually start listing it and you're like, oh, we need actually quite a lot for that. And then we need quite a lot for that. And you're like, referee costs weekly. Training costs, like
even
pitches, equipment,
but
balls.
even on
How
training.
many balls do we lose down the Glen?
Not guilty
every
on that
game.
one.
But like even early doors
Get it out.
training, we went to Side Hill because it was
Get
free,
it out.
Yeah.
and it was the easiest place for most of the guys to get to. But very quickly, most of the guys switched off because we didn't have nets. Four balls. We had little bits here and there, and it was kind of like you already saw the numbers dwindling. And me again, like alarm bells were going off. Like, this is not good.
Yeah.
But I suppose that's where that funding was of massive help to us.
Huge.
Managing to get an Astro.
It just made it feel a little bit more like
professional,
something tangible here. Yeah,
it's just. I mean, sorry, Jack.
So it just gave us a cushion because we didn't have any funding at all. So we were kind of funding it off our own back. You were paying for stuff, I was paying for stuff, and once we got that funding, it was like Pratt was leading the socials.
I was on the Twitter every night.
But once we got the funding, there was a bit of security there. So it's like, right, we could actually invest in training. We can invest in some equipment and get like 10 balls rather than 2 balls that we've found in a dog spit in one of them. So it was a massive deal actually getting that funding in.
And you don't realise like that type of stuff. So obviously for me on this as well, it's like now having the studio for this, right? It's the same kind of concept. It's like, right, you go from doing the living room and it's cool, and then all of a sudden you kind of like use a bit of a studio and all type of stuff like that, and it just helps out. So it just looks better, right? You have the nets, you have the balls, you have the bibs, you have the cones, and like you say, it keeps people going more.
Training numbers
massively.
doubled once we moved to the Astro.
Yeah, exactly.
Not trebled.
Aesthetically more pleasing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Having the nets.
Matthew, you all right over there, audio man? All right, okay, so you're just having a wee look at it,
I was going to say, I was just going to say the next part was like the squad. I think Hamish digged out
that's where I was going to go. Well brought up.
Yeah,
great transition.
Easy. How well do we work here?
Do you want to take this job? Yeah, do you want to take my job?
It's just like Hamish found a great message the other day. Was it saying at one point?
We'll cap the squad at 17. We can't have any more players involved in that.
17.
And honestly, mate, see when we had that.
Yeah.
Three of our squad were training for East Lipton at the time.
Yeah.
And the boys were still expecting to be training for us. And it was like, quite a lot of what I didn't like. I was like, I don't like half these boys.
Yeah. There you go.
17's pretty slim at the minute.
Nobody come at me, I'm just the host.
11 players, you get 5 subs, 16. We're like, we'll just cut one each week. And we talked about this a little bit in the gaff, but Matty, do you want to guess, since the league season started, how many players we've played and trialists and signed up?
Just in the season, not
just
pre-season.
Just the season, not pre-season, just full season.
How many players
have made an appearance with Ammies?
That's what I
He
guessed.
said 30, yeah.
Yeah. How many?
Well, 49. 49 different players.
You've got what? You've gone from 17 to 49, but that's because seeing that core 17. Now we can say this, like we were relying on Aaron Darry and Danny Darry consistently for cracking lads.
Yeah.
Another 5 minutes between them.
That.
Great moment in pre-season. We were playing against Nintry.
Yeah.
And Danny's turned up late to the game, and he always gives me grief not for giving Aaron game time.
Yeah.
Aaron stood on the side of the pitch. He's like, Hamish, how many times did I tell you, get Aaron off? He's already been on and off, Danny. It lasted 3 minutes. It's like, that was a good learn for us quickly, like, it's all fine and well having mates, and we want our mates involved, but we also need lads who we know, like, I was about to say like Matty, but he's also a mate, so that's harsh of Matty.
Yeah.
But you also need lads who you know are going to commit to it.
Of course.
That's really quickly learned that, like, do you know what? just try and get as many folk in as we can.
That's been the biggest learning curve.
Yeah.
Taken to next season, I guess.
Yeah,
Do you think? Trying to make sure we have a good full squad of people where we're not scratching our hair pre-Christmas.
I think we've had about 10 players, generally 10 players, that have played more than 50% of the games this season.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So if you've played more than 1 and 2, you're in our real top batch of
consistent.
performers. And we naively thought everyone would be there 100% of the time,
quite a lot
unless
of
you've
those
got
players weren't necessarily the people who were there.
That's true.
Gary, who's been a massive guy within the Ammies, no way anyone
Huge.
expected him.
Divock Origi.
I love
even
that.
my brother Cammy, he was in Glasgow when we started the Ammies. He wasn't part of the Ammies.
Oh, yeah.
Jack, he was in a sling when we first started.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, so you were, man.
I broke my wrist.
Yeah.
Talk about a buzz. We had all that buzz going into it, and we played our first pre-season game. And in the morning of that first pre-season game, I went to the doctors. I was like, I've got a bit of an issue with my wrist.
Yeah.
Went to the doctors, broke my wrist.
Shit.
And they're like, you've got to go in for an operation in 2 days.
Fucking hell.
So I was like, right, I'll play that game because I had a bit of a buzz about it. And then went off 3 months out. So such a downer after building up everything that we'd had. One game. And that was it, crushed. But that blew us at centre half as well.
I forgot about
Game
that.
1, we came into it, the 3-man board, we're all out, injured.
Yeah.
Not that I made much difference, to be fair.
I think that was when you guys started up. For me, just from the history of the Ammies, which I've actually never played for the Ammies team. I just did North Berwick. I know. Watch his face.
TBC.
TBC. I just obviously did North Berwick and went away to America. But that was always the test. Was we talked about a little bit in the flat, but it was the winter. When you get the darker nights, it's dark at 4. Folk have had work. It's pissing rain. It's freezing cold. That's where it typically would always fall apart. And then like anything, right, especially when you're out of it for a couple of months, it's hard to get you back into it, right? So that's where I think if you, as soon as you survive the winter, on the outside in, I was like, right, you're good. As soon as you survive that, you're fine, as long as you've not folded or done whatever.
Do you know what, the league were quite good in terms of this. We had a winter break as professional footballers, of course, have in Germany, but the winter break was good because as you say, we were off from mid-December till a decent point in January, so it gave all the lads.
Well, you say it was the league. It was the COVID period at the time.
Yeah,
it was.
So it was COVID, so it
probably
wasn't a
actually
winter
helped.
break. So we'll have that next season when we're going into the horrible winter months. But that was COVID.
It was a help because you're right. That's when you lose people, and that's where I was still cynical. I was like, we've not been through winter yet.
Yeah.
We've probably come out better.
Who would you say? I mean, maybe everyone can have a different answer, so you can maybe go one at a time. But who would you say the guy that you got for whatever reason it may be? Who would you say when you got that person, or they were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play"? You were like, "Right, this is fucking good." Doesn't even have to be I'm not saying in terms of the best quality player, but who was it you were like, right, this is going to be decent, we're going to keep this going, this is going to help us?
Easy answer for me. It possibly didn't work that way, but when we signed James.
Okay, right.
We literally spent probably 3 months courting James on the golf course, just desperate for the guy to sign. We were just badgering him all the time.
Giving him guineas and that,
no, I wouldn't give him
10
anything.
foot putts, mate, have it and sign your contract.
It was literally every time we saw him, it would be like a 3-man attack. We'd just be jumping on him. Just got to sign for the Ammies. He eventually turned up to one training session, pinned a contract on him, and he signed it. And at that stage,
which has ever been match training.
No, he's not.
James, show up the training centre.
I mean, even going into it, I thought we'd probably win the league. That's the mentality I had going into it. Completely wrong.
Look at that, Liverpool going for the quadruple this year.
But once we signed James, I was like, that was genuinely.
Yeah.
I thought that was the time we were going to kick on.
What about you, Hamish, or Finlay, whoever wants to go next?
I think for me, it was more of not a moment of we're going to win this. I didn't know anything about him, but after watching Jack Ramage a couple of games and Sean, the two of them coming in to help out Matty and stuff in the middle, brilliant. I thought those two give you just something different. Jack Ramage, dirty player, I love it. Something I just love. Yeah, it gives us an edge that I feel a lot of us don't have. I think
definitely. When I've watched you guys, I agree with you. He's a very, very good player, Jack. He's like you say, he gives you that bit of bite in the midfield that every midfield
dirty
needs.
Work that not everyone
exactly. You don't But I was gonna ask you this. I didn't ask you this in the flat. I think you two said it. Maybe Jack joined as well. But see, when you have now kind of come, I'm kind of jumping ahead a bit. But see, now you are maybe looking at it from more on the sideline point of view, not necessarily coaching, but just you're kind of just trying to make sure you keep it going. And obviously, at the end of the day, you aren't there to win every game, but like winning is going to help, right? Like if you're losing 10-0 every game, people are going to start to drop off. So when you take like Jack for an example, and then have you started to realize like little things like that when watching games, like, oh, he actually does the dirty work stuff that like you wouldn't maybe realize if you were just like, I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. I think another one, I know he's just sitting here, so it's hard to say as well, but Hamish coming in, because Hamish was originally
playing.
supposed to play.
Yeah.
So it was shoulder injury, so Hamish didn't come into it till 2-3 months in.
Yeah, October.
And top scorer by like, what, 15?
Yeah, I think it took you 3 games to become top scorer.
So it's like little things like that. I think like, obviously at the start, we were riding off the pure just buzz.
Yeah.
Didn't matter what the result was, we were just buzzing no matter what. But then like it all kind of shifted, I think, when these sort of boys started playing, and we actually started like surprising myself anyway, like the results we were getting. And the buzz sort of changed until we can actually like, you know, win some pretty decent games here.
I remember as well though, like, because I think early on we did win a game, and then we had a couple of, it was just new to us, and honestly it was a new 11 every week for the first couple of, and that was cool. And it was
tough.
Also guys getting used to sort of Saturdays giving up. And
just starting,
I think we played a game against Fairnesside, which is where Scotty G, the main event, made his debut.
Scotty Gillis up top.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was the week after, me and Fish were walking across to set up the goals one day.
Yeah.
And again, I know it's awkward because Matty's here, but we were really concerned about losing boys like Matty, Ramage, who maybe for whatever reason just hadn't been part of the. I suppose like Matty's a lad who we knew from school, but I've not spent time with Matty. Like,
of course, of course.
So my big concern, and Fish's concern at that point, was like, we might lose a lot of our really decent players if we do really badly. But I suppose that's testament to what the lads put together from a social side of things. But
of course.
There were little moments where I was like, we probably need to, I don't know, like make decisions or just try and do things in a little bit more of a professional manner.
Of course, rather than just its mate showing up playing, for sure.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
So we had those little moments, but no.
Matthew, do you have anything you maybe want to jump in on that and add to that?
Yeah, you're smiling.
No,
over
you're
there.
good. Oh, you're smiling over there. But I remember having that conversation with Finlay at that Halloween party at Chloe's place, and I remember that was a good party. That was a good party. But yeah, I remember Finlay speaking to me about that as well, being like, oh, like I think that's when you were just kind of teetering on, like starting to maybe get into the area you're talking about now.
Yeah,
I remember you saying that about Matthew. I was like, look, Matthew's not really in it for that, and I think like the whole point of us doing this is I feel like the testament to what you guys have done is that you've built something where you found the balance of it's fun, but at the same time, like when you show up and you train and you play, like you're there to be competitive and win, because you've got guys like Jack probably wouldn't show up if you're getting pumped 10-15 every week. Don't want to speak for Jack.
No,
do you know what I mean?
No, yeah, 100%.
I think that's the one thing that I've liked though, is because like what I'm a manager, I just count the bibs. Do you know what I mean? I just make sure we've got 11 guys starting.
Yeah.
But like people like Jack.
Yeah.
I suppose this is more on the playing and training front. Like Pratt is great on the social side of it, but he probably just doesn't do the drills as much as that. But like he's a leader on that side of it. But people like Matty, Jack, Ramage, Sean, even Wilson, for all he moans about everything in the world. But like those lads kind of like, without knowing, just kind of set the standard a little bit in terms of like,
absolutely,
and it's not a military operation or anything like that, but like they're just good at making sure that like once we're at training,
we're trying.
We'll obviously have a laugh, but like, we want it to be done right, so we try and
it's
get
like
it.
I think the thing I was going to say was like the thing we wanted to make clear at the start, I think, was, you know, it wasn't going to be an environment where a lot of boys, when we get to our age, that's why it kind of boys are wanting to not play seriously.
No,
not seriously, if you know what I mean, but like at a really high level, and the commitment of having to do that. So we wanted to get across that, you know, we are going to a game, we're not going to fanny about. We're actually, you know, we are going to play to win, but you're not going to come to training and make a mistake and get fucking bowled at.
Yeah.
Which for me is brilliant, because I'd be getting pelters from any
use
manager every time I
Wilson's
touch the
your
ball.
Line you up, though.
So it's just like you're not going to get screamed at from a touchline from a gaffer or, you know, whatever, for making a mistake in training or a game, but you're always going to try well.
Yeah, it's a brilliant balance between the relaxed atmosphere that we've got and the competitive edge that actually takes place in the park, and it is helped by people like Ramage that keep it going.
Yeah, of course.
If you get beat and it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. No, it does actually matter, and it keeps you going for the next week.
You'll lose people if that happens.
It's good as well though. It's like, because I say it again because Matty's in the room, but like there's been times at training where Matty will
say that as well.
Like, not I suppose tactics, but like I suppose just little things that we're doing, or like try to fit people into a formation.
Yeah.
Which
You would never
I'm
approach your
delighted-
manager with
yeah,
that,
no,
would you?
I'm
Yeah, like an
delighted he
actual
doesn't try
manager.
and have that conversation with someone like Gaz or anything.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like- But like those sort of things are so helpful, just because just having those people within the squad who just, I suppose, have
But
just a bit more of a football.
The fact it's all your mates, like, it gives the boys the confidence to say like what they want to say, which is a nice thing as well. And then, you know, cases where Hamish, you know, you not been at training or whatever, and we've got boys at Matty that can come in and you know, with the experience to actually take a training session as well to help out. Where you know, so it's been first class actually. It's been
absolutely brilliant.
Loving it.
It's good, man. It's like I say, you've definitely, as soon as you got to the winter, I was like, right, user sound. Like you've definitely built something there, and like you can feel it. I mean, I'll obviously, I said this to you, but I'll put it on camera for him. But like Tad, obviously, when the last time I was out with Tad, and he was like, Thomas, sorry, Thomas.
Georgie, it's
sorry,
Thomas.
Yeah, sorry, Georgie, Thomas. I know. So maybe I did that now. But like obviously when I first started speaking to Tad about it, and obviously you guys kind of know each other from school, and he was definitely, I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying this, but he was definitely like a little bit like, oh, like I don't really know those guys as like friends, and I feel about the group, and obviously we talked about this before as well. And then compared to the last time I saw him, he wouldn't stop talking to me about it, like absolutely loving it, like the social aspect, all that type of stuff. So that's just testament to like what it's become, right? People actually want to show up. And again, there's never like any conversation I've had with anyone about it, it's never like they never say to me, oh, we won, or we're fifth in the league, or we've had a cup. I honest to God could not tell you where you are in the league. I couldn't tell you in the cup. I don't mean that in a bad way.
I think we were second top, do we finish?
Yeah,
We'd take fifth, wouldn't we?
Won the league, won the cup.
Do you know what though, John, on that, to be fair, like there's a lot of lads that we've mentioned that have come in, and like it's been class because they've been from the outskirts, and like people like your Jacks, your Seans, your
Ronan,
like
Lewis
like,
Black,
there's
boys like that.
We lost at Christmas. Kieran Floyd. Now he's a lad we were all so tight with at primary school, early stage high school. Hadn't seen this lad for years. And to me, he was the perfect example of the Ammies, because like Kieran's a rogue lad, a class boy, but he is a
the amount of games he played on like an hour sleep was unbelievable.
Kieran turning up. I think
Same with Matty, to be fair, in the corner.
Same with most of the squad, to be honest.
How many times have you been sick on the pitch this season?
I think
he definitely wins biggest spew award, surely.
Well, I think it was like
more spews than shots on target.
Kieran's final game of the season was like Bonnyrigg. And like, I think he'd just been out on like he'd had like a 4-day bender because he was moving down to London. He was sat drinking a G&T in the change room.
Unbelievable.
But like, he was like the perfect example of a lad who didn't know what to expect and how good did he win. Like, Kieran was such a good lad.
The other time he came back from Fly, was it not? He was at Fly for 3 days.
Oh, that's right.
And he came back, and obviously, like another thing that no one ever thinks of is the team lines. You have to have everyone's number sorted beside and the tick of their sub and all that, and hand it into the ref. So he was in the car on the way down 45 minutes late or whatever, so he's going to make the second half. So we'd have to just put down
a random number.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to put 2 or something.
Spare strip at the back, wasn't it?
In the back, yeah. So
he puts on the wrong strip and someone gets injured, so he has to come on 5-10 minutes to go. Runs on, he's got the wrong strip on. So instead of he was still so buckled from the weekend that instead of taking the top off, he just put the other strip over the other one. He was already wearing.
Playing with 2 tops on.
Unreal.
He is like the perfect example of why the Ammies work, because he was an outsider in a lot of extents, and like so central to it from a social side of things. And
it was again
he's a good player.
He bought into it completely, didn't he?
Yeah. Another thing was like the Christmas night out. I thought was the first sign I thought of like seeing everyone sort of come together, because you'd say there's maybe like 12, 15 of the boys that were like really close at school still, and then obviously got 25 boys there, 10, 12 more, and it was we'd obviously gone out, we'd had a game, 16-0 win.
Yeah,
I scored. And
well, hold on. Can we have a description of the goal?
I scored.
Can we have a description of the goal?
I'd love to hear that.
Come on, in your brain, what was the goal like?
Well, you should have seen it. It was a blistering run down the right side. Ball got crossed in. Everyone missed it, and honestly, not many people can meg the keeper from 2 yards out. I'll tell you that just with your studs when you just about missed the ball. It was brilliant.
Was that a Gary Brownlee assist?
Gary Brownlee to Finlay. Who he's playing?
It might be on the spreadsheet now.
And then we went into the clubhouse, and then we headed uptown. We went for a big massive dinner, and then we booked a pub, and I think me and us, we did a couple speeches, I reckon. And then and then it was just like everyone at that point, you're absolutely so merry.
Yeah.
But it was the boys that stood up, like Ronan Higgins stood up, cracking speech. Remember that?
I was never about
Not really,
great
Pratt,
things.
no.
Just got up and started talking about how. What? Yeah. He was like, says stuff about like, I got asked to join this team in a hot tub in an afters at 4 a.m. in Jack Fish's gaff last summer, and I didn't know anyone, and I thought, do you know what? I'll join. And what a fucking team I joined. And everyone's like slamming the tables and that. And it was just brilliant.
Unreal.
So,
yeah, it's unreal, man. I don't know, Jack, have you got anything you want to add into that?
No,
Anything that comes to mind?
really missing Kieran. I think that was just like get back. It'd be good to have a centre half partner that we could rely on for a while.
Yeah, you've been like Van Dijk at the back, mate. You're like on your own back.
Well, we do. Well, yeah.
Steady.
Well, easy with Van
Van
Dijk.
Dijk likes to keep the ball and pass it. Honestly, the best moment, so this is jumping ahead, is
Yeah, go ahead.
Edinburgh Uni, I think it was a week ago. I mean, a fair few of our team probably weren't on it, me included. I was completely sober.
Yep.
Matty came on. I think Matty and Jack Ramage had to do rock, paper, scissors over who had to come on because
that was true. That's a true story.
So rough.
True story.
I was then play the last 10 and Dylan Floyd goes down after 5 seconds.
Yeah.
They kick off and they just collapse. Oh no, rock, paper, scissors, lose. I'm fucking sure.
Edinburgh Uni, like classic uni team, like they try to play football,
Yeah.
and they give you a runaround. They will give you the runaround.
Sure.
So I've said at half time, like I'm no tactical magician or anything like that.
No
but I was
pep.
like, lads, we need to keep the ball. We're absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
So none of this nonsense
We're
where you just
toiling.
boot it away.
Aye.
Literally, I think I passed the ball to Sean,
Yeah.
passed it back to Jack, out for a throw.
I was getting flanked by a couple of strikers coming in. There was only one option, it was to knock it long.
I just looked round,
Unreal.
and Jack Ramage is burst on the touchline. And because all we said is, so that's why the Van Dijk, I'm not having
Yeah.
that at all.
Right. So you're not having the Van Dijk.
No. Well, we did
Tried.
the
Jamal
stats the other
Lascelles.
day. I keep the stats. You know,
Yep.
I love my stats. Worked out all the
Stat
centre half
man.
partnerships I've had.
Right.
21 different centre half partnerships. 21.
Season.
21 in the whole season.
Just with you in general.
Is this on for
God,
2
you-
hours? Is it?
Can you name them?
Well,
Unreal,
also
21.
The other thing was how many keepers
Yes.
we spoke about earlier as well.
6 different goalies that
Six
we've had
goalies.
over the season.
Come on, Craig Hunter.
Craig
man.
Hunter signed
Yeah.
his number
Yourself
one.
there
What's going on
inconsistently,
here?
I know.
So, yeah, do you want to try and name them?
Pratt the cat.
Craig, Pratt, Fraser, Craig Wells.
4. Yeah.
Jack Morris.
Jack Morris, yeah.
Corey
Dalkeith,
Timbers player.
when we beat Dalkeith.
I don't know if you played that game, Matty.
You're so sash, you don't remember.
Letting a
Think
poor
of your
in
goal this
post, to be
season.
fair.
Your best goal this season.
Oh, that was a good goal.
Lee.
Who was that guy?
Who was that guy?
Big Neil. Big Neil, who's pals with Ramage.
Yeah.
Aye.
Ramage's pal. Mate, he's been tapped up many a time because he's meant to be. Well, he's
Messages.
another example of. I was saying this in the flat earlier on in terms of like shouts. Like, remember when you're younger, you used to get the shout when you're coming up against a team. Oh, he's ex-pro youth, like he's a
Yeah.
player. And then I remember when I was at Haddington and Dunbar, like there was be the shouts of, oh, like he used to be at Bonnyrigg or one of the good junior teams. Like now, it's been. He might have played 11 aside. And
Has he played?
This boy Jack Morris played in goals for us, and was regularly asked to fill in as a fullback. Never played
Yeah.
as a fullback in
Fair
his life.
play, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Though.
Yeah.
So go on then. We'll go on to that because you started on best moments. Then I mean, you can obviously change yours as that first came to hand. But does someone maybe want to start with a best moment? I know you've got your thing on Saturday, so we're going to put this out after Saturday.
Yeah.
So I don't want to spoil anything for that Pratt has. But what's your best moment?
You want to take it away?
Yeah, best moment. I don't think I've had a better feeling on the park than when we beat Musselburgh Windsor 2-1
Okay.
in the cup.
Okay.
It was a game. We were talking about the highs and lows. We were in a bit of a low at the club at the time, where we were struggling for numbers and we were trying to scramble it all together. And Jack Ramage, who we've mentioned a few times, it was just a kind of indication we weren't winning many games. And he said, "Oh, I'm feeling a bit ill, lads. I'm going to have to drop out of the game on Saturday." Caught on Instagram going out for drinks with the missus on the
Brilliant.
and then on the
Caught red
Saturday
handed.
went out with the boys from home. So we were missing our maestro in the middle. So we put a team together. There was a couple guys on debut. Lewis Black's
Lewis
first
Black's
game, Rob
debut.
Elder's only game.
Finlay at right back.
I started-
Pratt
They'll
started
work
right back.
penalty.
Yeah.
It was never a pen.
It was like a volleyball dig.
I went to grab the ball. I thought I was playing Pratt the cat. I thought I was in goals. Just
pegged it away.
Gone to grab it. Craig Hunter, what a save. That was a
Yeah,
moment. That was
that
a
was.
moment. Yeah, because
That
we
was.
were 0-0.
It was 0-0 or 1-0 loss. I can't remember.
Do you know
I've
what mention who scored that first goal?
Well, I got the first. If you guys are going to mention that, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I've given away only 12 goals, 12 headers. I've given away the stupidest handball, to be fair. The boys just headed it, I've just gone like that. And it's like moments where, like, I honestly, like, again, just sums up the Ammies. We all started laughing.
Yeah.
Literally,
some of us were not laughing.
Jack and Hamish.
And then shit, man. Big Craig saves a penalty and the boy blazes it over, and just like a buzz after that. Again, just those moments in a game.
It was just brilliant because they were, two leagues? No, one league above, but they were up high in the championship.
2 leagues.
Well, two leagues, and they were winning the league as well.
Playing in the Prem.
But they finished third. They finished
third in the championship, and they had a couple of guys that we knew that were good players, and we were going into the game really, like, not expecting much. And we were 1-1, and we were bunkered in for so long, and then right in the last minute had a break up the pitch, and Hamish, it must have been like your second or third game or something, threw 1-on-1, just wait for the goalie to drop, just lobbed it over him right in the last minute, and of course you got the whole team, the touchline, everybody right into the corner.
The Darries out injured for the whole game. Honestly, they've both got bad hamstrings. They were there at the corner flag seconds in the corner, and then Craig, already on a booking, was right up at the pitch.
Craig, from his own goal getting in, he's like, you got the big celebrations, you turn around and Craig's there, you're like, get the fuck back, you idiot. Right, just a great moment. Felt so good.
That sounds class, man. That sounds class. Hamish, you want to go, Finlay?
I think mine was it was actually first game of the season. I wasn't involved in it, and it was Gary. It was a common theme in the Ammies, but stinking. The core. I was convinced he was going to be a stinking footballer, and do you know what? He's not that, he's not that stinking. Gaz has improved. Like, I remember saying that I was playing golf with Gaz at the weekend.
We love you guys.
I was like,
so good Monday. The difference, like the start of the season to now, is unbelievable.
I was like,
honestly,
I'm going to struggle.
Cheers to all the training sessions.
On like this is going to be tough. Like, how do we use him? He just gives it his all, and he's so awkward. But he's come on against Bonnyrigg, who gave us a couple of one-on-ones when Gaz was on, and I think he must have tripped through on goal on a number of occasions, one-on-one. And I was, this could be a long season.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Sam's played a ball late on, and we were bunkered in, struggling. We needed a goal.
Yeah.
He played a ball late on. Gaz doesn't know his right foot from his left foot. He's taking this thing on the volley from the edge of the bar, off the underside of the bar almost. It's careered.
It was his birthday as well,
and you could see
it was Gaz's birthday.
He was wearing the captain's
Unreal
armband.
On his birthday.
We gave him the captain's armband.
I love that.
On his face, and everyone else's face, like, what on earth has just happened here?
Absolute screamer.
How good was that? Like,
you're right. That was amazing.
Birthday captain's armband volley off the other side of the bar.
And he now knows that he's left-footed. He figured that out. I think it was about 2 weeks back.
It's good for him to know.
Shooting drills.
Worked it out.
That was only dampered by the fact that I thought that was just great. Get our first win on the board, and then we were playing Saturdays, Mondays, and then the game on Monday they went and played like Longniddry and got beat by 14-0. Maybe not as good a result as I thought.
And that was probably, I think we put up a photo of Gaz giving it like the Ronaldo celebration.
Yeah.
And that's when I suppose the people within the league decided to take a dislike to our. Which is fairly, we're very safe on social media.
Yeah, you are. I like the social media page.
It's just like
became the cult hero.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I like the social media page. That's good. Finlay, what about you?
I think mine's a different spin on it. It's not to do with the result.
Of course, it doesn't have to be. Yeah,
the performance from the team after. It would be Spittle Rovers for me in the South of Scotland Cup.
Scottish Cup.
Was it Scottish Cup?
Scottish Cup. Yeah.
Scottish Cup.
Because it was Scottish Cup and we got drawn in England.
Oh, yeah.
Unreal.
So we're down in Berwick.
Right. Okay.
Berwick Rangers, and we went down, and we lost 4-0, I think, but. Was it a 4-0 game?
No,
I thought we had chances.
Yeah. You played with Cammy in the middle.
The big day, mate, when we were out in Berwick after.
Actually, Matt,
you were sick again outside.
That was shortly the beginning of Gimme.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to get to, which we'll get to after this.
So this is where it was born.
Yeah,
so we're down there, and obviously, like, on away day with all the boys doesn't come around very often, so what an excuse going down to England for a game of football.
Of course.
So, I think we walked. It was like they told us it was about a 10-15 minute drive, so we all got bottles and cans and we walked from the game to the pub they were going to host us in after, and we got in, and not many of their players actually turned up. There's a few of them, all their coaches, and then Coldstream, who are in, what league are they in? The East of Scotland.
Yeah, East of Scotland.
Right. Scotland. Through the other bit, we were sitting there, and it was just like, I think that's when the whole team spirit thing, like how close we all sort of were starting to become. came home to me because we sat in that pub for a good 6-7 hours playing on repeat ABBA non-stop. And
so this is where it was born.
This is where it was born.
Right,
So it was
like
Gimme. Everyone knows the song.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pain myself by singing it. But, and then it got to the point where a couple of Coldstream boys who absolutely love it, they came through and they were like, they were so quiet through there. It's terrible. It's rocking through here. What's going on? And I'm like, who are you? And we're like, North Berwick Ammies, mate. How have you
ABBA
not heard?
tribute band.
We've only been singing for the last hour and a half.
ABBA tribute band. Gimme.
And like their coaches stayed the whole time. They absolutely loved it. They were like signing like fake contracts. We've like got the pictures of the Coldstream boys signing contracts. Cammy Beasley and
unreal.
All that. They were just loving it. And then they tweeted after like tweet of being like never seen a better team spirit from a team we've ever played. Picture of like ABBA being like, and then they've messaged us obviously for a pre-season game. That's how good it went with them.
Class.
So just like just a great day out, and everyone was just on form. No one left early. I don't think any of the team went.
We
home.
only went to kind of placate them.
Oh, did he?
Because they were like, oh, you've got to come
Duty.
for a pint. Because we're hosting the Scottish Cup game, so we went for one and stayed for 7 hours.
We'll go for 1 pint and we'll head back 7 hours later.
Aaron Darry will tell you, tightest man in history. I think. £2.70.
The curry and stuff that they put on though. I mean,
Yeah.
that was.
Full
Gas
story.
grand
I
in
think
that.
that was it. It was like you lads go first, and then the home team will get it.
Yeah.
We'd kind of gone up, and then there were already lads going up for seconds before the home team even got near it.
Okay, no, and then I think the Ammies card came out at some point for a couple of rounds of shots. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Unreal.
that one's
Was it
not made
Ammies
it onto
card?
the budget yet.
It's not to the budget though.
Okay, right. I say, unbelievable. Nah, that's class, man. That's class again. Stories just kind of sum it all up, to be honest. We'll start to kind of wind down a little bit. Time actually flies by, and everyone's got a bit of work tomorrow. Let's go with, again, I don't want to spoil anything, Finlay, so you can jump in.
Okay.
But I was going to ask, Matthew kind of put this together. I like to. What about worst excuses?
My favourite was
So many good ones.
Thomas Carr.
Tad it is.
He went through a phase of. He definitely picked who he wanted to message. He knew he'd get a hard time off Jack.
Okay.
He sees me as a soft touch, which I'm fine with.
Yep.
And he messaged me, "Hi mate, can't make Saturday. I actually forgot I'm away on holiday."
Sure.
He was currently on that holiday.
Fucking hell, Tad.
Messaged into the chat like, "Lads, Tad's not here this Saturday. Do you know that holiday's on yet?" He forgot he was actually still on it.
Yeah, he's still on it.
Can't play. So that was my favourite.
Right, fair enough. Go on then, Jack or Finlay, everyone wants to go?
Well, like Tad's again. Sorry, Thomas.
I loved it that Tad's getting all of them.
His infected butt cheek. That was a beauty. Astroburn that he left and his arse got all pussy and infected. It was minging.
What, he just said, like, it's infected, I can't play.
Couldn't run, couldn't walk. Could hardly walk.
I think he actually told me about that. I don't know, just a weird conversation maybe having about having drinks with him, but I do remember. Arses, but I do remember that. Yeah,
He was messaging me about it and didn't really know Tad that well. Knew him. We went to Amsterdam,
Yeah.
the puffins and that. But he was messaging me like, I was like, oh, can you make a game on Saturday? He was like, nah, I can't. Butt cheek's gone. I messaged him the picture of that. I was like, I've messaged Tad about 4 times. And I got a picture of his arse and it's got a bright yellow spot on it.
oh mate, that sounds brutal. What about for you, Jack? Worst excuse?
We've got loads. I think there
You
was
can
one.
you can pull a couple out if you want.
Yeah.
we know
I
all
suppose
that.
we can
Yeah,
list
if you
them
guys
out.
got a couple out.
I was trying to verify this earlier, but I think Kieran Floyd, who I mentioned earlier, missed a game because he was walking alpacas down in Dunbar.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Honestly, I can't elaborate on that one any more than that. I think
That's a
there's-
great imagination.
I think East Linton family.
Yeah,
Park,
I know you're
whatever.
right, yeah.
I think he was down with the missus. There you go, Matt's verified it.
Matthew, why the fuck do you know that? How'd
Just
you know that?
verified
I
this
remember hearing
comment.
rumours of another team. One of their players was missing the game because he was collecting a goal.
Sorry, lads, got to pick this goat up here.
It was something like that.
Walking alpacas in Dunbar.
Yeah.
That is that.
There
that's
was
unbelievable.
again. We've already talked about Jack Ramage, but a beauty. It's just like Amel out for dinner with the missus, just super. Getting caught.
Oh,
on
yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
the boys have seen someone's like followed his missus and seen the photo of them
Yeah.
out for dinner, and he's not posted it anywhere. Just like
Well, on the
class.
topic of like the misses ones, I remember it was like like Jack and Neil live with each other,
Right.
and it was before we started using an app for like availability, and we'd always ask lads at the end of the game if you're around or not, and Neil is almost always around. And it was at the end of the game we'd ask, and Neil had kind of given a quiet no. like, where are you, Neil? And Jack was like, no, he's definitely around. He's like, yeah, it's the anniversary on Saturday. And I could see the fear in his face, and he knew it was coming his way, but that was the first test of this is what we're up against. And we were like, lads, like, anniversary, you can go out in the evening and stuff like that.
Of course, yeah.
I mean,
listen,
it was funny though.
There was a few ropey ones and a bit of pumpkin picking.
A bit
one
of pumpkin,
after
yeah. We had our vice captain Ricky Burrows, a game down in Stow, big South Challenge Cup game, and he was on, he was off. Can he make it? Can he not? Not able to. Sees the Instagram when we all get away. We got beat 4-2. Great night out or great day out, pumpkin picking with the missus.
Pumpkin picking. How did he not get out of that, man? That's horrific.
Big James Harley falling down the stairs at Fly because he was so fucked. I think
that was true.
That one is true.
It's just a great excuse though. Like,
and that's just reminded me as well. You know, we're talking about we'll go with our core 17 at the start of the season. One of them was Jamie Billen. And Jamie lasted one game because he played against Bonnyrigg, and I was on the touchline at the time. I was determined to take some videos. Corner came in, second phase, went up. Jamie's as rigid as it gets. The guy can't move a bone in his body. I know. I think I'm more flexible than Jamie. And all of a sudden, he's tried an overhead kick out of nowhere.
Right.
And he's just kind of got halfway, and he's just shat it and just fallen to the floor. Tweaked his back. Had to get subbed. Isn't able to work, and he's out for the season.
So he's not played.
No, one overhead kick, and that ruled Jamie out for the whole season.
Jesus Christ, man! Come on, Jamie Billen, big centre half.
You got to commend some folk though for the commitment. On the flip side of that,
Special shout out to Sean.
So, you know the one thing I find funny though. So like I've had this conversation with Jack. People, I know it's amateur football, so you take it differently. So people we commend for commitment. They're actually just folk who turn up when they say they're going to turn up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'll be there.
Yeah, like the outstanding contributors in the team are just the folk that are like, yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Nah, well, you got someone like Sean that moved his mum's birthday dinner so he could play for us. And
that is commitment.
I was about to say, Matt, he was supposed to see your family.
Oh,
in Ireland,
yeah, to be fair, he was,
yeah. That's unbelievable. In amongst the making sure he's there 3 hours after going to bed and spewing on the pitch.
Well,
it's unbelievable
there was
effort.
one game early doors with Matt.
Yeah, you never came. It was just me and Dad went. I was fair.
Did we win?
My dad, we're on the plane, and my dad's like, I mean, fair play to him, but like,
there was one game early doors with Matty. It was Caitlin at home, and we were really toiling for numbers. And Matty was coming across from Hamilton. I think it was a previous job, and he said to me and Jack, "Look, it's going to be touch and go for kickoff," and I was like, "That's not good," because we had 3 subs.
Not even. It was like touch and go second half.
Yeah, me and Jack were sorting the goals like 45 minutes early, and Matty's there. I was like, "What on the earth has happened here?"
Yeah.
That's commitment.
Yeah. Fair play, man. Fair play. Good. That's good. Well, we're about to wrap it up. I think we'll finish with kind of like the season's finished. You guys will obviously, have a break. I mean, you guys kind of do the behind the scenes stuff, so hopefully you get a little bit of a break. Just on that, we've just finished the season. Car back after on Monday, last game of the season. Matty's busy asking, so what are we doing for next season? What are we doing? It's like,
when's pre-season start? When's our first game?
I think our break lasted 1 hour.
Fucking hell. There you go, man. Commitment from the boys. But I mean, in terms of next season, it doesn't just. I'm not talking about like, where you finish in the league or anything like that. You can add this in, but for you guys, like, what's the kind of, you've got through the first season. We've talked about the good things, the bad things, the hard things that you had to do, and the difficult things you had to get through. Like, what are the kind of goals for next season? Like, what would you like to?
I'd like to score 2, not 1.
I love that. That's a goal. That's the goal.
I think. Well, the first thing we've learned is the bigger squad. I think that's going to help a lot. And,
we've got a good squad now.
We've got a really good squad. I was going to say, since the turn of the year, like, the results have just been like so much better, and the performances. So like going in with a bit of confidence actually next year, rather than thinking what the hell's going to happen. This week is a big thing. Looking forward to it. I think we've got to 2 quarterfinals and then finish mid-table. So next year. Got a wee buzz actually, personally.
We'll need to see how the league breaks up. There's a chance that it goes into 2 sections, so a bottom league and a top league. And if we're in that bottom league, we're already top of that bottom league from where we're finished. So that would give us a good chance of a title run if we're in that. So it's going to come bite me in the arse when we do this again next season.
Bottom
of the bottom league, brilliant.
I'm going to go on record and say we're going to go and win the title next year, Josh.
I like that, Jack. I like that. There you go. That's the ambition. Hamish?
I don't really have any. I just want to keep taking it and running with it.
Good.
So I mean, I'm
Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
not having a long-term plan. Like
love
for
that.
me, it's the Ammies. Just enjoy it for what it is.
Yep.
Because the lads seem to be loving it.
Yeah.
As long as we're doing that, fine. More than happy with the rest. Of it takes care of itself. So
Love that.
just like do what we're doing and run with it.
Love that. Matthew, anything you want to jump in and add before we finish? Good? All good?
Can we sign you here and now, Matt? You
get the contract on camera, on table.
the basis
You're not
that the
gonna
corners
turn
beat the
up,
first
Josh? Gonna give us some minutes next year?
Look, like, we had this discussion earlier. When I come watch you guys, I'm definitely like, I should get back
What's the
into it and
barrier?
play. So, just being a lazy bastard, man. No, like, I mean, I kind of said to you guys, like, obviously trying to do this and take it a bit more seriously next year with the football. So I kind of want to be watching the football again. We said you kick off at 1 o'clock sometimes, so obviously I can make those. But I think
Come along the Tuesday nights.
I think I'll come along to training. I think if I get myself into it and get into the mix, then it's like anything. You start to be like,
Yeah.
If Scotty G's done it, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
mate, you're absolutely
I
right.
think the only other thing I was going to mention before we wrap up was
Go ahead.
how proud I am of the charity stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
cool,
took
very
note
cool.
of that in my head earlier. Well done for remembering that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, talk about that.
I was just
Finish that on that.
obviously we did Movember. Some terrible looks. Fish,
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. That was
Yeah,
awful
that was a
for
bad
them.
one. Yeah.
And then a little scheme we started was instead of obviously the yellow and red card fees that the club so the boys pay their monthly fees and
Yep.
stuff, whatever. But we get the merch like this. But we made sure that the boys paid. The club paid for the fees, but then the boys paid their yellow and red card fees into a mental health charity that we started. So I think overall, including that in November,
We're at £1,600 that we've raised for the season with Movember and
Unbelievable.
the Sam H mental health charity that we've raised over £415 for just in yellow and red card fines alone. So
it's pretty
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Like, and
It's a great idea, though.
That's what it tied back to the first conversation with the
Yeah.
Ammies. It was during Zoom. It was when we're all apart. So if we can create something that brings the boys together,
Yeah.
we're all happy, having a laugh. Go for it.
you can see how much it means to so many people actually within
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good
yeah.
community thing. It's good for people.
And that was it
It's
on Monday night. Honestly, like we were saying that we got beat, but like
folk that showed up.
it was just
Yeah.
it was nice. Like we were and thanked. Do you know what? I don't know how many people there are in your family.
Thank
What
thank
a
God.
family of supporters you
Honestly,
boys
like-
have got. Yeah,
There's-
honestly.
You've got a homestand of supporters just
Yeah,
for your families,
yeah,
but we were
yeah.
thanking them. So like it was nice to end on that. Just seeing everyone
Yeah.
enjoying it for what it was.
That's the
Good.
next step. So getting a stadium, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll work on that.
Build the
Surely.
stadium.
Couple of years.
Unbelievable.
We'll have a wee bit. We get some pints served out the back.
Let's get a
Unbelievable.
sponsor for our away kit first.
Start on the small
Sponsor
thing.
the Ammies away shirt next season. Give us a shout.
Give us a shout. Well, look, boys, it was really good. I've been really looking forward to this. I've had this idea in my head for a long time. I think that I'd love to maybe kind of do like a one before the season starts, one maybe kind of after the Christmas period, and then do this again at the end next season. So I'll see you around. I'll be in touch.
We've loved it. Thank you for having
Yeah,
us on.
thanks for
Josh.
having
us.
It's
Yeah, no
been
problem.
first class.
Josh.
Absolute
It's
first
been
class.
good. I think that's it. We
Yeah.
good? All right, give me a win for the Ammies. Thank you, boys.
Gimme.
There we go. Sweet, cheers, lads. Appreciate that. Thank you. It's good.